All right, what's up everybody? Anthony here with Empire Music, empiremusic.com. So the 2024 collection from Fender Custom Shops finally rolling in here. We're like got halfway through the year already. We've seen a smattering of stuff come through. I think the 60s, as far as basses, I think just the 66P bass have come through from the 2024 collection. I think it's kind of a limited collection this year too, because they were catching up from like 2022 and 2023. They're really behind. So the fact that we're seeing 2024 collection in 2024 is a good thing. But this is the 61 jazz bass. It's an interesting finish on this too. I'll get to that in a second, and I'll get to my favorite point on this is the stack knobs. If you're not familiar with what that is, I'll explain it in a second. This reminds me, I always like to put a little bit of background on the basses that I show you guys here on YouTube. If you're not familiar with the YouTube channel, it's the first time to it, hopefully it's not, please subscribe to the channel, greatly appreciate that. If you dig this bass or anything you see on our website, you can call me directly, really. It's 412-343-5299 and it can help you out that way. Everything on the website is gonna be photos of the actual instrument, maybe outside of a few Squire things. Pro setup on all the guitars, free shipping on nearly everything. Great used stuff too, so used and new. If you got trades, reach out to us. Get all that housekeeping stuff out of the way. When I first started working here, it was either a 60 or a 61 jazz bass that came in with the stack knobs on it. And I've said this before, but it's been a while since I've shown a stack knob. I'm such a big Bobby Vega fan, as every bass player should be out there. He's like the funkiest dude alive. But his like shark bass, or I forget what that thing was called. I think it was a shark bass. It was a stack knob jazz bass, right? So I always have kind of an affinity towards those. And when I first started working here, there was an Olympic white one that came through that just sounded so cool, so just a little bit different than your typical jazz bass tone. I really like that with the stack pots in there. What I mean by stack pots is, if you look down here in the tone and volume controls, we see, you really only notice two knobs essentially. Really there's four. So you have volume, volume, tone, and tone. Unlike volume, volume, tone from the typical like modern jazz bass thing. I'm by no means a historian, so someone down in the YouTube comments may correct me. I'm sure you will, but I think it was like 60 to midway through 61 they were doing this stack pot configuration. I don't know the exact reasoning why they did that and why they went away from it, but all I know is I like the look of it, I like the sound of it. Maybe it's placebo effect just because it's different. I think it sounds different. Who cares, right? It's just a matter if you like it and it inspires you. That's the important thing. Finish-wise, so I alluded to that. This is the first time I've seen this, and we have a 66 jazz bass that came in with the same thing. So maybe this is something they're doing for 2024 now. Bleached three-tone sunburst on both of those instruments. Very interesting. I never noticed, hopefully I'm not derelict of duty there. I never noticed on the spec sheets anything being bleached as like part of the processing to get the colors different, you know what I mean, or aged or lightened up. I guess I would assume it's lightened up a little bit. It looks like it in the yellow here in the middle. Now it's also on an ash body, which is cool. I think that adds to some of the lightness, not necessarily the weight, although it's not heavy. Typical kind of ash body here feels not necessarily light, just kind of, it's nice and even. But I think that lighter ash, the pores and everything really lend themselves well to that bleached three-tone sunburst on it. Hand-wound vintage jazz bass pickups in there, obviously in 60s position, being a 61 here. We have guards on there, we're gonna leave those on. 7 1/4 radius, 3A rosewood neck, clay dots on there, which always look great, and a 60s U neck. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I'll probably say it until I stop playing bass, which hopefully is never. This just feels like a C to me. I wish I could give more insight into what the dimensions or what the feel of that U neck is. It just feels like a regular C neck to me. Some of those details get very much lost on me. That's probably not the best thing being a demoer on YouTube, but I'm very honest about that stuff. Jazz bass spacing at the nut, so 1.5 inches, and reverse gear tuners on it. It sounds just really, really nice. I can wax poetic about the spec sheets on it and the colors and all that stuff, but if you've talked to me on the phone, you know how I am with stuff. If I like it, I like it. I don't really care about radius. I don't care about the type of pickups in there. I honestly just want to vibe with an instrument. And obviously I want it to be a quality instrument too. If you haven't talked to me on the phone, you definitely, I'm available. You can call me anytime at the shop, 412-343-5299. Check out the website, empiremusic.com. If you see anything on there, reach out to me. Take care of you. We'll get you the best price possible, get you free shipping. It's no stock photos on that. We do a pro setup on all the guitars that we ship out to you. Again, any questions, just reach out to me at the shop or just email me. It's anthony@empiremusic.com. And take a second if you're on YouTube, just hit the subscribe button. Greatly appreciate the support that way. That small little step goes a long way in what we're able to bring out to you guys content-wise. So sonically, I got no effects or anything like that. The beginning thing that I was playing was just wide open, full tones, multiple, full volumes, multiple. Just all the way wide open, which is, I just love that jazz bass tone. I do love a P bass. I play it so much. I don't actually own a great jazz bass. I have an active 6-string Elric that I play for like that type of tone. I'm always kind of trying to add the jazz bass thing in the arsenal. I just love it. I've been listening to a lot of Marcus Miller recently too. And man, with the passing of the great David Sanborn, I've been like going back through a lot of that music, and Marcus is killing on so much of that stuff. So really, I always forget how much I love Marcus's tone and playing and note choice and feel and all that stuff. So sonically, wide open everything. Love that tone. Marcus probably wouldn't have played that C on there because he knows what he's doing. I unfortunately don't. I just love that scooped out tone that a jazz bass gives you. This is like your prototypical jazz bass tone, especially the 60s thing. We get into the 70s, a little bit different. It's a little throatier. It's a little bit more mid-forward. The interesting thing that I think is going on here, and I have no factual evidence on any of this, but I think this is kind of doing like the EQ trick. And what I mean by trick is we're taking these jazz bass pickups, we're taking the jazz bass position, we're taking that tone, which is kind of scooped out, kind of mid-range, but we're putting it on this ash body, which to me has like kind of a pushed mid-range thing. So we're starting to like cut and boost the same frequencies in there. It's kind of like the Pultec trick, like the EQ trick in the studio, I would do in the box or with a plug-in. If you're not familiar with that, look it up. It's pretty cool. Basically, it's cutting and boosting the same frequencies to get a pretty unique kind of tonal response. Now we go just front pickup, and it's that jazz bass trying to be a P bass thing, and I don't mean that negatively. It's very cool. It's got a slappiness, and I don't mean slap this way, kind of thing to it. It's so interesting to me, this tone. It's almost like there's like this compression or this like out of phase thing on the top. It's very cool. Compare that, just wide open, right? Front pickup. Wide open. Front pickup. It's like seismically different. And again, it's almost P bassy. They say sometimes the trick, whoever they are, roll some of that front volume back, roll some tone back. still sounds like a jazz bass trying to be a P bass, right? So we go just bridge pickup on there, and unfortunately I have the cover on there. I can't play all the way back here. Again, a seismic shift from what we get out of the other two. So bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Play up here. Both pickups. Let's just try a couple different tone combinations on it. So let's take that tone all the way off the bridge pickup, all the way off. So 0 tone on the bridge, full tone, full volume on the neck. That's interesting. I've never really done that before. Now, tone all the way off both. Now tones all the way back up. That's interesting. Back to full tone both. Now let's take all the tone off the front pickup. That's so cool. Like it's just affecting the tone in these different parts of the EQ spectrum on that. It's very interesting. I like the real-time stuff with you guys out there to really experiment on this. Let's just roll tone, because these are notched, so let's go 2 notches on both, rather than saying 80%. Actually, here's full. Here's -2 notches on both. Oop, that volume's full. Full tone. Let's go 3 notches. Yeah, we start hearing it there. Man, this thing has like a ton of just compression to it when you start digging into it. I love that. Full tone again to end it. A little slop there, that's all right though. This is an awesome bass, just a really, really nice jazz bass. If you like that ash thing, this definitely has it for you. And again, I really think that what's going on there is we're boosting and cutting the same frequencies here between the pickups and the body, which is very, very cool. If you're looking just great, versatile jazz bass, and a couple little secrets in there by some different tonal combinations, having the 2 tone knobs on it. I really, really dig that. Again, phone number at the shop, 412-343-5299. You can email me directly, anthony@empiremusic.com. This is the 61 jazz bass from the 2024 Fender Custom Shop collection. Huge selection of Fender Custom Shop basses at empiremusic.com. If you see something, don't hesitate, reach out. See you next time, thanks.